Recording in progress.
Everybody, happy Monday. All right.
Still not used to all the bots joining first. There's only
Yeah,
three real people here, right?
I
Like
think
it's
so. This is all good. We will just go ahead and get started.
Hey, Chris.
Hey guys. All right, cool. Let's see here. Cool. I'll share my screen and we'll kick things off. We got Alex M. Nope. Okay. Busolo.
Hey, Chris. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much again for all you do.
Yeah, of course, of course. Okay.
Yeah. So,
So 2 weeks landing page testing.
yeah, I've been doing some landing page testing. Now, even though I have 5 landing pages, I'm only um, posting videos and trying to direct people to just one landing page, and which is the rent landing page. And the reason for that is because of the way TikTok algorithm works. Because one thing I found or learned, I don't know if it's true or not, is that TikTok algorithm wants you to focus on one particular thing for maybe several weeks or a couple of months, and rather than focus on several categories simultaneously. So I don't know whether this is true or not.
I mean, you're not doing any paid on TikTok, right?
No, no, I'm not. No.
Okay. I mean, I would still test it to see, right? It's like maybe spend a week to add another at least video to a different landing page to see how it
Okay,
performs or doesn't perform.
okay, I will do that because I
Right.
mean I have the content already anyway.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I would do. And, I think again, you need to be agile enough where you're constantly testing. You got 2 weeks again, right? So like we gotta have 2 weeks before the next check-in. So
yeah,
I would I would make your goal now to get a conversion, get at least like a single conversion
yeah.
for the form, right?
Okay.
Regardless of the landing page and regardless of the video. But the fact is that like now you should be speeding up your testing so that's like every 2 or 3 days. If it's not performing, don't just keep it there. Like add something new. Test something new every 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, 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 got it.
Right.
Something else I'm thinking of doing as well is right now my target audience is Gen Z and millennials, but I've been thinking that I should just change it to renters anyway. That way it opens it up more a little bit because one thing I found out from my TikTok, people view my TikTok, I've got more people like 45 years and older view my TikTok videos than younger people. So I don't know
Yeah.
why. And then they're mostly male as well. So I don't know whether there's any reason for that. But what I'm thinking, like I said, is just change it from Gen Z and millennials to just renters so that it's more direct. It's more focused on
Yeah,
renters.
that makes sense. So maybe that's where I would again like be more focus on the audience that you're trying
Yeah.
to get in front of. And then again, like you can always do. You can always you can always run like a small paid campaign for like a few dollars a day where
Yeah,
you can define the audience um specifically to the core ICP that you're trying to get in front of. And it might be worth doing that for like 2 days and spend $10,
yeah,
right? Because just keep in mind that the amount of time that you're spending right now to do all this testing, it could be faster and it's probably worth it to spend $10 versus spending another month trying to figure it out.
yeah. Okay, okay. And then I'm also looking at utilizing other platforms as well. And again, taking it just out of Gen Z and millennial and making it for all renters, I think would help. If I use other platforms like Instagram, TikTok, no, not TikTok, Instagram, YouTube as well, and
Yeah, first you got to figure out
Facebook.
how to solve for one. Otherwise, you run into the same problem with all the other ones,
Oh, okay, okay.
right? You need to get into this pattern of like repeat testing until you find something that's working.
Yeah, okay.
It's honestly not that hard. Like, it's not that hard. If you do it every day, like I've played around with it where it's like you can get like if you play around every day for like a month,
Yeah,
I've been able to get like 50,000 views on something on TikTok, even
yeah,
though the rest are normally like a few hundred. It's just being consistent and then trying different things. Like it's the same thing with Instagram, it's the same thing with YouTube. I
yeah.
just I don't have the patience now to do it because that's not where my audience tends to be, but like it's totally possible to get that traffic.
Okay. So hone in on just maybe TikTok alone and try to get that right.
You need to hone in on your process with TikTok.
Yeah, okay.
Because you already started there, like you need to hone in on the process. What I mean by that is like you need to hone in on the process of experimenting till you find the thing that works.
Yeah.
And you need to stop worrying about overly thinking about the content that you want to create versus the content that you need to create.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yes, it does. It does. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, cool.
Okay. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. Ryland?
Yeah, hey Chris, thanks for
Hey.
your time as always. So yeah, I sent out 80 emails. I revised the first 10 that I shared with you the context of what I sent, this big long eloquent
Yep.
example. I turned it into like 2 to 3 sentences at most, and I did have two variations. Sent out all those emails, zero replies. On a side note, I did get some inquiries from other people, but this wasn't as a part of my process. So um, definitely didn't hit the mark. One of the things that I noticed was that there's a best practice in there from your email warmups that you shouldn't include links. So it's a naked link of the domain name of my business, and that definitely broke the outbound email best practice. That's ultimately where I landed for the last 2 weeks. So didn't hit that second part there of 4 to 5 engagements slash meetings, unfortunately.
Okay. And why do you think you got no replies? Is it because of the link?
I mean, the possibly. I mean, the link didn't follow the best practices. Was that the definitive
Sure.
thing? I don't think so. So technically I did get one reply because one of the emails I sent out was to a former colleague who happened to be working for one of these companies.
Okay.
But there wasn't any feedback on like whether or not the email was a good email or not. She said she'd let me know if she needed any help for my services in the future.
Sure.
Um, But yeah, I mean, the emails were short. They were attention seeking, which isn't typically my style, but they were short to the point. The subject was um, deliberately a bit brazen of like, hey, I noticed your paid spend is higher than your organic performance, things like that. But I don't know, maybe this is the wrong audience for this type of email.
Do you know what
So
the opens were?
I'm sorry.
Did you use anything to track open rates?
No, I didn't. I sent these individually
Oh, hi
from
guys.
my my email address, my
Okay.
business email address. So I don't have anything set up yet on that, and that could be a next step of actually getting it into a separate email domain for this bespoke purpose.
Yeah. Okay. Um, So I think like 80 emails over the past 2 weeks isn't a lot.
Yeah.
Um, I would say so the things that come to my mind, first of all, is like maybe email's not the right channel. Maybe you need to try LinkedIn DMs. Maybe you need to try, Instagram DMs. Where again, wherever they are that your target, who you're trying to target in terms of like audience can potentially be. Um, I would just start finding more ways and breaking up your time to spread it across different channels.
Got it.
So to me, it would be like maybe it's like 50 LinkedIn DMs per week, 50 emails per week, and then 50 social, Facebook DMs or something like that, right? But like, um, I think for right now, you need, maybe it's still keeping it short, but find other channels outside of email where they may not be responding anymore. And that subject line to me is also like, I think it's still relating back to kind of like your product or service versus like focusing on, and it is a bit brazen. I get it, and I get what you're trying to do, but I think like it still reads to me as like somebody's selling me something.
Do you mind me if I drop a sample
Yeah.
of what these look like? So where are we at here? Um, okay, I'm gonna put it in the cell and then I'll get rid of it afterwards because it'll sh change your formatting. Okay. Okay, there's a problem with it. What's the best way to get you an image?
Just sent in the chat.
Okay. So yeah, here's a peek at the titles. So are you able to see that?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So companies' organic visibility and ambient search, discovery mismatch, Eva's legal discovery footprint today, discovery timing balance, uneven discovery mix, email, organic discovery, visibility, early stage discovery. So a lot about the discovery, which is where they're at. These are
What
companies.
is
So
the subject line?
sorry,
What am I looking at?
you're looking at the subject lines and then a brief intro into the emails, names, company, framing of what's happening for them.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still wouldn't open up any of these. I don't see any subject line that looks attractive.
Um,
It doesn't, I mean, if I got any of these, I would delete it.
yep. So, research
It
on
doesn't
best
tell me what
practices.
you're trying to tell me. Like, what are you trying to say?
Organic search visibility questions, seeking guidance on
I
what
mean,
their
who's the
thought process.
recipient?
Sorry.
What's the job title of the recipient?
The job titles, anywhere, whoever I could find. So Anymail was pretty good. I got one bounce back, but mostly founders, but then there's marketing people in the mix, growth people, various CTOs. So it ranges.
Okay.
But usually the higher level decision makers is what I was targeting.
This is just way too granular and too specific that it's like almost like unless your list is like a bunch of SEO experts, like I don't know. This probably wouldn't work.
Okay. Any recommendations on where to go to research like best practices for subject lines?
Again, like I would change it to the point of like, what would you say to get somebody's attention without having to sell your product or service?
I notice you're overpaying for organic search. Why?
No, it has nothing to do with the, I say don't have it do anything with your product or service. Jason has to raise a hand.
The data scientist in me can't hold back on this one, but
Yeah.
I noticed you have a mix of case and sentence case,
Yeah.
and a mix
Yeah.
of a spectrum of almost not professional up through professional.
Yep.
So
So
I guess was
there's,
that intent for testing that
yep, that's testing.
framing?
Yep, that's testing. So there's one email that's more brash, and then there's another email that's a little bit more polished and professional.
And I was just someone who had a budget on data. I wouldn't open up many of the lowercase one. It just doesn't feel almost feels like spam in
Yeah,
a way.
yeah, it does. I mean, that's so the I had previous emails that were like paragraphs of evaluation. It was evaluation, here's what I do. I'd love to get in touch. So turning this into something that is intentionally meant to be like attention seeking, um, a little bit highlighting the problem, but I think it sounds like I'm being too specific around what the actual business or opportunity that I'm trying to solve for. So, um, I don't know. The sales part is where I struggle. So trying to figure out something that's sales that would capture somebody's attention, but it isn't salesy, which just feels like it's going against the brief of trying to capture somebody's attention. This is where I struggle.
So I'm just sending you some random stuff that's like tend to work well in the past. So a forward, leading with a
Okay.
forward subject line regarding whatever. Again, these so generic and general,
Yeah, it's
right?
clever.
But it's again, you're the whole point is trying to get somebody to open up an email. They're not going to be able to. I don't even know if like anybody even read the rest of it, right? So it's like, how do you get somebody to take that first action? That's the point.
Um, I mean, that's where I'm still at. So
So I would
resending
just use
this,
any of these or some
say it
version,
again.
some iteration. Use any of these I just sent or some version of it.
Yeah. Um, the email warm-ups PDF talked about how, you shouldn't send the same company like more than 3 emails a month. Does this warrant creating an email client that can send emails on my behalf and then a different email address like to avoid getting in the spam box?
You're at this point right now, you're not sending enough volume to like worry about that.
Okay,
Like 80 emails over 2 weeks, you're not gonna like if you're doing 80 emails an hour, then it's a different story. But right now, you're not doing enough to even worry about it.
got it. And is it worth going even further back into finding different leads from different sources? Or is this the process that needs the most refinement?
Right now, I wouldn't worry about all the other stuff. I would just worry about if you're going to use email as a channel, how do you get people to open it? And then how do you get the response?
Mhm.
I'd imagine that the reply the body of the email is probably somewhat similar to the context of the subject lines, which is still probably like overly salesy. We're trying to like overly convince them around what you do and what you're trying to provide. Versus like I would just try to think of it like a clever one-liner to pose as a question. You leave questions, usually that's trying to get somebody to elicit some kind of response. Mm, those are the things I would solve if you're trying to do email. And then again, like in addition, maybe email is not the best thing. Maybe it's something where especially the way that you're wording things, you can also try like outside of because think about it this way, email, there's no social proof attached to it. Like nobody can see your face or your background. LinkedIn, you have that luxury, right? Where you're putting a name to a face, right? So it's like, hey, if it's Ryland, who's like, former Google engineer, like, yeah, and he's asking me this question, maybe I'll take some time, because this guy's looks legitimate. So maybe in that space, in that at that channel, we'll work with the subject line that you have and the email, the email body that you have. Does that make sense? But you have to find the right channel for the right kind of like context of whatever messaging you're using.
Hmm.
Email, you're kind of shooting blind, so you're gonna have to be creative.
Well, yeah, so the way email works with these potential clients from VCs is the intro from whoever's the talent
Yeah.
partner. That's the way those work. So the other route is, and I have had success with LinkedIn messages, just reaching out and saying, "Hey, I'm following your company. Wish you the best of luck."
So do that.
All right. Yeah, I think so I think the next step is really a pivot into exploring different channels with some continued refinement on this email process. But this email process might not be the way to go if trying again with some pretty clear directives on cleaning up the subjects, eliminating any of the sales or even what the hell I'm trying to sell these people um, will help validate that.
Yeah, again, like the goal here is to get to the 4 to 5 engagements, right? So who cares how the hell you do them? The main thing is to figure out how you can do it consistently.
Got it. All right. So yeah, 4 to 5 engagements.
4 to 5 engagements, expand channels, simplify email as a
Yeah.
channel.
Okay.
But what I sent you, like, I know this looks like stupid, but if again, like if you're looking just purely for replies, this doesn't necessarily going to help you with converting to customers. But if you're a great salesperson and this gets you the replies that you need, you're going to be able to leverage this and turn these into like customer calls,
Okay.
right? It's depending upon what you do with this that is going to ultimately like make this look stupid or if it's actually going to make it look clever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So if it's like you put this in the subject line and then you're like going through like a science paragraph of like discoverability, through organic search, then yeah, it probably doesn't land well, you know? But
Hmm.
if it's like this with like, hey Ryland, like, um, I'm trying to, build a business here because this is my background and I'm trying to like better understand this space. I know that you are whatever decision maker at blah 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 company and that you probably have a ton of expertise to share. Like you mind hopping on a call and lend me some of that your wisdom might land differently.
I mean, that feels smooth to me. Like that sounds like a perfect structure because it's not about me, it's about you. I'm curious
Yeah,
about what you're doing.
yeah. And that's like again, that's the best salespeople spend 2/3 of a sales call asking questions.
Hmm.
Asking questions that they typically know the answers to already. Because all they're trying to do is warm you up to a problem statement, but having you discuss you kind of get there on your own so it doesn't feel like you're being sold to. And the moment that you realize the problem and you start complaining about it, then that's when like the last third kicks in where they're like, well, what if there was something that did this? Man, it's just again, it's like it's a series of leading questions they know the answers to. So, you
Kathleen
know,
agrees. All right.
so again, like I know it seems like sometimes too it seems like it's too easy or it's like it just seems like counterintuitive to like I think most people like especially like earlier entrepreneurs on like what selling should look like, but it's the most proven way for most really like strong salespeople. They just make it seem effortless because it has to feel effortless. So
It's simple. It sounds simple.
it's there's an art to making it as simple as possible. Like because by nature, I think we just tend to be overly thinking shit.
Yeah, I am an overthinker.
So cool.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate your
Yeah,
time.
for sure. Bodhi? Cody's not here. Mhm. Emily K. Chris.
Hey Chris, I'm here.
Hey.
Hey, so over the 2 weeks, I've been trying to do more of the email send out. I did get 3 replies, but I guess the tough part is I think I'm si similar to Rylan. I'm trying to, I kind of like overcomplicate the emails, and I'm just like, how the hell do I get these people just to respond? And I know I was supposed to do some calls. I think that might be better, but with the 3 replies, I started to learn that a lot of these brokers are like super busy and they will 100% talk to me if I want to buy a business or sell a business because that's how they're making money. So I'm trying to like creatively think like what you mentioned about LinkedIn. Maybe I can just message them on LinkedIn. Maybe that'd be better. Or maybe I can like do like a pseudo, like, hey, I'm interested in doing your broker business. I'm interested in buying a deal. But yeah, I got 3 replies, which was good, but I didn't get any conversations quite yet. But I'm still trying to figure out that channel to get people to respond.
What
Getting
were the
the
replies
email.
like? Like,
say-
how many of them were positive replies?
So it was weird. This guy I sent out, he's like, "Hey," I was just basically like, "Hey, I want to learn more about your broker experience." He said, "Read my book." So I was like, and he attached his book to it, and I was like, "Okay, this is weird." And then another guy's like, "Hey, here's some materials where you can learn instead of talking to me." So they like pushed over to like an educational channel, but in my message I said I can search on ChatGPT, I can search on Google. I want to talk to you directly. Like that was kind of like the message I was sending. Like I can't just talk to a robot or learn. I need to talk to someone that's, been in the space that I can talk and share with.
Okay. Um, so what I would have done is actually feed in the book into ChatGPT and then have it give you like three highly personalized questions that
Oh, about the
will,
book?
yeah, because I mean, you skipped what they recommended, right? Like if you don't even take my, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, I wanna get some advice. Yeah, I have all the advice. It's all here. And then you're like, no, no, but I want to get some advice.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I
Like,
mean? Like,
yeah,
why are they going to talk to you? But it's like, hey, I want to get some advice. Okay, here's all the stuff that I know. Awesome. I went through all the stuff that you know. Can you dive in more specifically about this topic?
I see what you're saying. So they gave you like they're giving you the hook already. I just felt like it was just a weird response. I didn't want to respond back. I was like, this
It's
guy's
not a
too
weird
like
response if you're an expert in the field and you like don't want to fucking waste your time,
that's true. That's true.
right? Like right now they
Yep.
think you're a waste of time. They have no trust in who the fuck you are and like why they should
Mm-hmm.
spend 5 minutes with you. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? But if you appeal to their ego and be like, "Hey, Chris, guess what? I couldn't put your book down. It was amazing. These topics really hit home for me. By the way, like I just had a quick question because this particular segment on page blah 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 like really stood out. Is there a particular reason that you know what I'm saying? Like, and then it's like if you can get them to do that, if you can do that, and maybe it's not even getting them onto a call, but the first step is like you mind like just sharing with me something, blah blah blah, and they'll spend the time. Guarantee if you
Got
approach
it.
it that way, they'll spend time to engage with you. Now, from that point, maybe it's like awesome. And if you can dive in a little bit deeper, it's like, do you mind like 5 minutes within some like in the 2 weeks, and like you play it super humble and be like, you mind sharing 5 minutes of your time? Sometime in the 2 weeks, I can just cater to your schedule if you just send me a link, or like if you just share with me sometimes, like I'm happy to make anything work. You know what I mean? Like you're
Mm-hmm.
not in a position to dictate and shit right now because you're trying to get
True.
with
True.
them. So like
Yep.
make
Yep.
it make it about them and make it as easy as possible for them to say yes to you in whatever way, shape, or form.
Got it. So let's let me just write these notes down. Got it. That makes sense. But I think for me, the hardest part isn't getting the emails or getting like their contact information. It's just getting a reply. Or not a reply. It's getting them to talk, but maybe that's not the point. The point isn't to get someone to do like a call. So I'm trying to figure out what's like because ultimately I know what I want to do. I want to help. I have a feeling I know what it is to build something out for them. It's just figuring out like in like, I hate to bring up Rylan, but like in Rylan's situation, how do I not sell to this person versus just gaining their trust? So figuring that out slowly as I go through this process.
I mean, it's like dating somebody, right? Like you're not gonna go and be like, "Hey, can I sleep with you the first time you meet me?" Like you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's just you gotta be thoughtful about what are the steps to that are required for me to ultimately get to what my goal destination is, right? And like
sure.
and sometimes usually like any best practices or like things that you're gonna find online, you know, from like a guide or a playbook or an expert, it's gonna dumb it down. So it's gonna be like these are the 5 stages, and it's not. It's more realistically, it's gonna be 15 to 20.
Mm,
Okay, and you need to get like 15 to 20 head nod lean-ins or like yeses before they like even contemplate the thought of like paying you something for your product or service. So how do you do? What do you need to do to first build trust to get them to talk to you? Like, and that's not asking somebody, will you talk to me? Right? It's like you got them to respond and you got a response, but the way that you engage with them is again like you just went too fast. You're
mm.
trying to get them, and it's like some girl said hi to you, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you want to come over? Like,
Okay, I get
that's
it.
that's the vibe that it comes across, dude. Like,
I
I'm just
see.
saying,
I
like,
see. That makes sense.
it's you gotta be definitely more thoughtful, especially if somebody's exactly telling you something. Like, you just went over it. You know what I mean? Like they gave
Mm,
you an opening and you just skipped the opening.
got it. No, that makes a lot of sense then. So just it, I think for the next 2 weeks is just figuring out how to do more mindful,
Just
like
do the
not
same
trying to get
thing.
a
Like,
call.
do the
Yep,
same thing that got you the replies, but reply differently, dude.
got it. Sounds good. Will do.
Right? And like there's
And
ways that you can do it where you can save a bunch of time. Like they give you a book, they give you a link, feed it to fucking AI and get you something to be like the hook that's gonna engage with them, right? But like don't skip that part. Don't skip when somebody gives you an opening. Like you gotta get outside of this framework of like it's all about you. And it's especially selling, it's not about you.
mm, got it. It's never. Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you for the advice. I definitely needed that for sure in terms of that outreach. But I think
Yeah.
for me, the same goal just be try to get maybe not 10 conversations, or maybe it is 10 genuine
No, just get
conversations.
three replies, but I want that don't even worry about conversations. Get three replies and then turn them into engagements, like into conversations slash engagements. Like meaning that you have more than just one exchange back and forth. It's got to be 2 to 3.
Got it. Got it. Also, my other question for you is, do you recommend sending any materials to them? Like, hey, Chris, I noticed something, blah, blah, blah. This might be helpful for you.
No,
No, no offering. Okay. Because I'm trying to add more
you're,
value
you're
or
you're
trust.
overthinking right now. You got three replies. You just screwed up the replies,
Okay. Got it. Got it. Sounds good.
right? Like right now, you just need to figure out how to turn these three replies into a conversation.
Got it. Sounds good.
Okay,
Thanks,
cool.
Chris.
Yep. Kathleen.
Yes. Sorry about those noises earlier. I didn't realize I was unmuted. You probably heard me going up the steps. I apologize for that.
No worries.
Okay, so I did so last week you gave me, or the week before that, you gave me advice to basically kind of go through the emails from the VCs as to why they passed. And so my what I did is I basically took their text, I put it through AI to get three solid points because I'm just pretending I have like goldfish memory. And the three main objectives were, number one, it's about like doubting, this is a high trust product. So it's kind of doubting, is the sales repeatable? How is it even possible? Things like that. Like, can you grow and venture scale without significant funding? And so number two, then defensibility of the product. There's a lot of, competitors out there. There's a lot of invoicing software. There's a ton, let's be honest. And number three is, doubt on execution. Like I'm a solo founder, so I'm underwritten as a bigger risk, and things like that. And they probably have some own mental calculus as doing it. So actually, this is kind of helpful because when I was reading this, I'm like, you know what? I bet this is what my prospects think about when I'm doing a pitch, even though they're not hearing the VC pitch. When I talk to them, they're probably thinking the same thing. So I actually had a couple calls the last few weeks, and I had these in mind, and I was kind of hearing things when the customer was kind of, prospect was kind of describing a couple of things. I actually was able to bucket it into one of these three things, and it actually helped me proceed the call into the next step. So for one call I had with a 3PL, they're actually going to be proceeding. They gave me some data already to work with a customer, but when I was talking with them on Friday, at least in the email before our call, she made it sound like she wasn't going to do it this quarter. And I'm like, oh man, like it's over. This is toast. I'm not going to get a sale out of this. But then I thought, wait, where in these three reasons does she fall in? I'm like, okay, she falls in one. This is a high trust product. So when we were on the call, and she was expressing her doubt about switching. I was like, you know what? I get it. I would actually be concerned that you would be eager to switch really quickly because that shows me that you don't really understand the gravity of changing your billing system. And I think once I said that, she totally changed and she's like, oh, I'm going to give you my data now. So I have a call scheduled on Friday. I need to have the bill for the customer, but every customer I've gotten to this point, they've literally signed up with me. So I totally flipped that, which I'm really happy about. And then another call, and I think I texted about that in the group chat. Is this with this 3PL? He's like kind of very slow. I think like he signed up for margin or Audily when it was called Audily like a year and a half ago by himself without me talking to him, and then he like deleted the account because like our our self onboarding sucks. But I actually got on a call with him. And with this call, like I think he just wanted to talk to me, like just like as a human, which is great because I think that's kind of like what happens when you invest in your online presence and talking with people and like commenting on posts is that like people just want to talk to you. So there's that. So that's good. And then I just kind of at one point of the call I was just like, all right, he's like he doesn't seem like too enthusiastic about building software. So I like asked him point blank. I'm like, all right, Matt, so what's going on? Like, I know you like Ship Heroes, billing automation already. My customers already have Ship Hero and they're on it. Like, what do you really want? Like, what's the problem here? Because I'm just like, in my mind in the call, I'm just like, where is he going in these three buckets, right? And so then he's like, well, the thing is that I'm actually looking more for metrics, like the margin, the cost part. And like now I'm intrigued about margin. So I talked to him more about that. And then I actually had analytics as part of my roadmap, that I was gonna put away for like when I got VC funding. Well, that's not happening. So whatever, I'll just pay $200 for like Claude Opus and then code that out. And he like basically the reason why he wasn't too excited to sign up is that he already talked to one of my competitors about metrics, and my competitor was like kind of brushed him off. But basically, I told him in the call, I was like, well, that's kind of like the product with margin. Like you need cost and profit so you could see your margin. So I have another call scheduled with him in the second week of February, and then I'll be doing a demo on that analytics. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So this is a good exercise. I mean, yes, rejection sucks. But I think now that some time has passed, I could like use it productively, and I've actually been using it to understand like, because sometimes prospects are not going to tell you why they're saying no or why they're like apprehensive about it. But this is like a really useful exercise. So I'm really glad you mentioned it.
Okay. And so then what is the goal for the next 2 weeks?
So, so right now, I really want to onboard this new customer, like this prospect to have as a customer. So this goal for this week is to just have a successful onboard, lock them in. There's going to have to be some additional things I'm going to have to code out. We have spreadsheet support, but the tally billing automation is not for lines in the spreadsheet yet. So I want to code that out. And then the week after that, get metrics out. And then once I do that, then I'll do the new landing page because the thing is that like these are like two whole different products that like should definitely be mentioned. and I don't want to, I don't want, I always get to this point where I start onboarding people and then I stop talking to customers. So I'll just leave on the automation for now and just really just focus in locking in this new customers. And then after that, those 2 weeks, and I'll go back to reevaluate the customer journey. Because I think right now, my customer journey is like, what's the journey? I don't have 10 customers yet. Like that's like, like I don't have 10. So it's like I'm still trying to get to 10 customers. And I feel like once I have, I feel like once I have 10 customers, I'm like, okay, it's very clear, like we're able to sign up. It's very clear that the billing itself isn't enough. At this point, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna add these things and then I'll reevaluate what the customer journey is there. So
Got it. Okay. Good
what
deal.
do you suggest?
No, I think onboarding the new customer, that's the goal. Make sure you get that done. And then the
Okay,
problem
sick.
with it.
Yeah, nothing else matters. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Caroline.
Hi.
Hello.
Um, so I did not hit my goal.
Okay.
I've been reflecting on what happened, and basically, I allowed myself to get sidetracked. That happened the last time we talked about goals, and it happened this time. This time I got sidetracked because I found out that our website went down. And because I'm, switching names, I'm also switching domains. I'm switching, you know, we're, s- my partner and I are splitting up all the stuff. So I had to basically build a new website, set up hosting, blah, blah, blah. And so I allowed myself, I mean, it's really not that important because I don't get a ton of traffic, but I did allow myself to get sidetracked by that. And that's, I guess, the main reason I'm behind because I spent my time on that instead of uh, staying focused on what I said I would do. So I guess, I mean, I did make some progress, but I didn't get as far as testing it with 5 people because I didn't feel like it was good enough to test with 5 people yet. And so that will be my goal for the next 2 weeks.
Okay. I mean, when you got sidetracked, right? Like at this point, you don't have customers, and the like a website is kind of like a moot point to a certain degree, right? So it's like, I mean, even if you, to me, it would be more important that you have demoed the 5 people, obviously, because then you're going to get the information that you actually probably will need anyways, because you're going to change the website after you talk to these people, right? Because you're going to get insights, visibility to things that you didn't have access to before, and so you're gonna change it regardless. Um, I guess like to dig a little bit deeper on is like I don't know if is sidetrack the right word, or is it something else? Like, were you feeling something else, because it seems like, yeah, to me, it feels like you probably got demotivated because of uh, the how in your face it was in terms of like your that the site went down, you have to change the name, and then like your co-founder is not on this anymore, and like that seems to be the thing that would be more emotionally dragging than it's like spending the actual time to get the new site up and changing the domain, because all that stuff is pretty easy.
Yeah, I guess I just focused on the wrong thing because at the time I was thinking, because my website is out there, there are people that know about Pippa. And so, it's on my LinkedIn. So I was afraid that if somebody did land on it and then ended up on a blank page, that would look bad. But again, and so I felt this sense of urgency to get the new site up because I want, my whole thing. Zoom is all about a great user experience. And so I felt like having a website that was down was a really poor
But
user
like how like
experience.
but in 2 weeks, how long does that actually that does not take 2 weeks. Like I know I can set that up in 30 minutes. And I'm not a
Um,
technical person, but I can get something up that's like You know what I mean? That says like
Right.
this is coming, and so it satisfies what you need it to do.
Yeah. Okay. So then I wanted it a certain way. And so I was playing around to try to get it a certain way.
Okay, so you went
And
down a
then, yes,
rabbit hole of just kind of
yes, rabbit
okay,
hole.
okay.
And then, of course, I did have some personal things, just personal, nothing bad, but just things that pulled on money that took up some time. And I was a little bit demotivated the last couple days, not for emotional reasons, not because of my partner, but I was just tired.
Yeah,
So, but overall, if I think about the time that I had, because the way my life is, I only get small snippets of time.
sure.
And so instead of staying focused on getting Pippa working, I got sidetracked by things like, oh, well, it's gonna look so bad if someone lands on a blank page, or oh, I want
And
it to be a certain way since I'm already start going down this path, I want it to be a certain way.
yeah,
Um,
so I think this is a good learning lesson. This is for everybody, but it's like honestly, nobody cares. Like nobody's on your LinkedIn. There's nobody that's on your LinkedIn looking at it and then going and clicking on that page and then going to like, you know what I mean? Like you need to you need to get it to a position where people will care. But in the very beginning, nobody cares. Um and I think that's something that I wish that I knew much earlier on as a founder and as entrepreneurs. Like nobody cares. And even now, like I operate under the assumption that really nobody cares. Like and and the reason why it's like, you know, because I know what it feels like to have this like perfectionist syndrome, and then you go down the rabbit hole, then you're choosing the right color, and you're trying to like find the right combination of colors and font styles or some stupid shit like that that's like occupies 3 or 4 hours of your day, and then you don't even like get it to finish the way that you want it to finish, and it's but reality is nobody cares, and like and nobody's going to it yet, and so um I think it's really important for everybody on these calls is to start practicing this idea of being okay with it not being perfect, or and it's not even about perfect. I think we all know that that's not happening, but like I think we need to get outside of our own heads and stop being afraid of getting answers. We just need to get answers because right now and everything this goes for everybody, but like especially for the next 6 months to a year, every day, everything that you should be doing is getting answers. Not from yourself, not from your own head, but from your customer. In some way, shape, or form, you need to be getting answers from your customer every single day. Like that is all every one of these activities should be focused on that. Because once you have answers from your customer, it will change the landing page. It will give you the answers that you need for what stuff needs to be, right? And that's the whole point of all this stuff. It's like you're getting replies from your customers. Great. How do you talk to your customers? Okay? Like how do you get them to talk to have a conversation with you in the case of like Chris, right? Or it's like how do you get then, you know, the in Ryland's case is like if it's not working through emails, like how then do I get like where's my customers actually spending time, right? And maybe sometimes that's the point. It's just like maybe if you instead for Ryland's like cases like instead of trying to sell your thing, like maybe your first job is to just figure out where they're spending time. Maybe send them an email and be like, "Hey, where the fuck do you spend time?" Like I'm just trying to understand where I'm trying to do this so entirely different business. My question has nothing to relate to my business or my what I'm trying to sell, but like I just want to know where you guys are spending time. Is there a specific group or forum or like what kind of learning credentials are you trying to do to like level up, in terms of like improving your skill sets? Like where are you spending your time, right? Like to know what that looks like so that you know what the next thing is to engage with them, right? Like, and this should be how everybody thinks on a ongoing basis is like, how do you talk to customers? Where are they? How do you get a conversation started? How do you build trust with them? All those things has to happen before you can actually even get them to pay you something, right? Or even knowing what to build that for that knowing what to build so that they would pay you something, right? It's like so I think just it's easy to get caught in our own heads. And that's why I just posed that question because I think it's like it usually is something deeper and we just know we're just probably not spending enough time to think about what that is. And I think it's if everybody that's on here today should take away is that no matter what, every activity, every action that you guys are doing on these weekly, bi-monthly kind of milestones has to be something with the customer. Right? If you're building something, it's because the customer said that. It's not because you think it's going to be cool. So next
This
two
is
weeks, you got
good.
a reset, but you got five. You still got to get five.
Yes, I do.
Right?
And can I just say one thing? I'm not trying, I don't want to overshare, but, and I don't want to dwell on this or this, I don't want this to be an excuse, but I feel like this is going to come up at some point, but, so I'm just going to share it. I do feel like I probably have, I've never been tested, but I wouldn't be surprised if I have ADHD. And so I have a tendency to like go down rabbit trails, and that's why I joined this because I wanted to stay focused. And so that is going to be, I think, an ongoing challenge for me to not to stay focused. And so that is my goal is just this next 2 weeks, I'm going to be like laser focused on getting
As
those
somebody who
fundamentals.
also, I'm diagnosed ADHD and I was diagnosed as an adult, right? And
Mm.
then I tried, some prescription, didn't like the feeling. I mean, I just learned how to turn it into a superpower. Like, to be
Right.
honest, like that's right. And it can be something to look up is time boxing. It's helped me a lot, which is just kind of like the ADHD thing is good for right. It helps you like cover a lot of potential like spectrums of things that you should be thinking about. But the time boxing is like every day you just need to focus on three things. You need to get three things done from a list of, I don't know, however many things you've jotted down, right?
Okay.
And I think that's where you need to look at just put into that there's certain notebooks that you can buy on Amazon that will help you with these things. It's time box specific, but like it
Okay.
gives you a list and a lot of like famous CEOs do this too because a lot of them also have ADHD, a lot of entrepreneurs do. And so like what I would just do is just make sure that whatever you choose as your three items for the day, make sure you title in your time box book or your journal is just that like it has to go back to the customer, right? So it has to be something customer specific. So whatever you choose to do out of those three things, does it is it dealing with the customer? Just make sure that it does, right? And if it's something you're building, again, does it relate back to a customer? And that's what I would suggest.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Deal.
Thanks.
All right, Justin W.
Hey, how's it going, Chris?
You're good.
Thanks for sending that Pomodoro timer in the chat.
Yep.
I've never even heard of that, but cool. I just checked it out and it looks good. So yeah, my goal was to get 50 new users on the wait list, and I was able to get 63, which is pretty good. Feeling good about that. Um, I'm trying to get a hell of a lot more than that. Trying to get like over 1,000 people on the wait list. I'm gonna have to
Sure.
tap into like my additional database. But yeah, I think for the next week's goal, I want to get 100 on the wait list. So that'll be an extra 37. You know what? Actually, like a net new 100. I think I can do that.
Okay. I mean, is there some repeatability in what you uh in what you did to get to the 63?
Yeah, I mean, I A/B tested outreach and messaging,
Okay.
and like got to a good open rate and response rate. What I haven't done yet is like gone through the campaigns for the people that didn't reply, like, yes, they're interested. So, there's thousands of people I can reach back out to, and I will reach back out to, but I need to figure out what that messaging is and do it.
Okay. Is there a way for you to just simply double the top of funnel activity? So like how many outreaches did you have to do to get to 63?
Like 10,000?
Okay, so is there a way for you to 20,000 to get 63? Sorry, to get 120?
Yes, we have about 300,000 contacts in the database, but we're focusing on this smaller group right now intentionally and like really draining that and figuring out what works well, and then we'll kind of expand the process, make it repeatable for the remaining
How
like
many is in the smaller group?
about 11,000.
Okay, so 11,000, you already went through 10,000 of them?
Yeah.
Okay. So is there a way to expand that 10,000 to 20,000 and like expand that group? Or is there a reason that you guys dumbed it down from 300 to 11?
Yeah, just to like demonstrate that this process works and like figure and refine it before we kind of just drain the whole database.
Okay.
But I mean,
Well, to that point, so what I'm trying to say here is like you're not draining the whole database if it's something that you're doing in like 1 week sprints, right? Like these 10,000, if you're not reaching back out to them like now because you got 63 out of the 10,000, right? I think we kind of talked about this a while ago, but if you have 300,000 and you're doing 10,000 a week, or let's just assume 10,000 a week, that gives you 30 weeks before you
yeah.
exhaust 300,000, right?
Yep.
So if it's 30 weeks before you exhaust, that's like over half a year, right? So you're not going back to the original 10,000 if you're doing 10,000 a week, right? Until like freaking 6.5 months, 7 months from now. I guarantee you the 10,000 minus 63 that you got as users like are not the 9,000 whatever like 937 are not going to remember ever having gotten an email from you,
No.
right?
No, they
So
won't.
you're not going to exhaust the database unless you're doing 300,000 every freaking day, right? For the next year, you're not going to exhaust that. So my what I would do first is see if you guys increase to 20,000 and see if you can get 120, right?
Okay.
Just double the number. You're not going to burn through this database. Like 300,000 contacts, you're not going to burn through it. You're not doing 300,000 every day, let alone every week or month. So, but let's just see if you can double.
Okay.
If you can double, we'll start worrying about burning through the database, right? But the first point is like, is this conversion percentage real? Which is still not optimal, right? It's like 63 divided by 10,000, and it's like a fraction of a percent, right? So it's like 0.63%,
Yep.
right? So it's like, I mean, it's not a huge conversion percentage, which is fine, but like, can this is the number that you're trying to prove. So can you convert at another 0.63% if you increased it to 20,000? What if you did 100,000, right? Like if you did 100,000, will that yield 630, right? You say you need to get to 1,000. If your goal is for like 1,000 users, right, on a wait list, and you know that it would take you guys to exhaust 200 like this at this rate, it would be like you would need 150,000,
Yep.
right? But it gets you there if that's the goal. So why not then say we're going to exhaust 150,000 to get to the 1,000, and we're going to do a little bit of a sprint to do that, right?
Okay. Hey, one of my questions for you, by the way, thank you for sending the kind of cold email best practices PDF. And, thinking about this, right? Hitting all these people. I use SendGrid. I use an
Yeah,
automation with SendGrid via Monday.com. And
yeah.
I've been sending out like 1,000. When I do it, I send out like 1,000 or 1,500 emails a day. I'm not using any kind of like warm up technology or warm up platform that, was cited in that doc. Is that something you still recommend, or is just using SendGrid gonna be okay?
No, you still warm it up, and then
I'll warm it
even
up.
in SendGrid, like you can use. I don't know how many email addresses you're sending from,
Just
but you can,
one
okay,
domain.
yeah. So you should probably have more.
Got
I
it.
mean, and the reasons why is because like this shit will happen. Like at a certain point, you'll see your health score and deliverability go down, and yours might already be there if you've been sending 1,000 a day. You just need a visibility on like, okay, well, what percentage of these are actually going to spam? Because if all of a sudden, for example, we increase it to 20,000 and then you start seeing like five conversion into users, right? And you're like, oh shit, something happened. And you're thinking it's the language, but because you're not looking at deliverability, then that's a problem, right? Because
Okay.
then you're thinking it's one thing when the diagnosis should be something else. And the way
So
that this
what?
works is like you can see here, like whoops, that it's like, okay, well, it started going to spam. And there's a reason why, because I know we used this domain and sent out like 10,000 in a day.
Okay. Um, so what platform would you recommend using to check this stuff that works with SendGrid?
Uh, it's in that document. I mean, there's a few of them. There's a bunch of different ones. There's Warmy, there's the instantly that we're using here. But it doesn't matter what you're using to warm up. You're using this third party to look at the health score to know if you should actually be using that domain in SendGrid or not.
Yeah. No, I heard you on that point. That makes sense. And you're right. We only have one so far, and I didn't even think about, you know, that there would be like a big variation in health score and just use the ones that are more effective. Okay.
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely like have, I mean, the ones that we have here that are sitting at like 100, we're not using, right? So like this is just backups for when this goes down, we need to swap it now, right? So like you should know that too for whatever domains you're using,
Okay.
right? And that way you're just always on top of it versus it's ideal to be on top of it, then it's like being, reactive to when deliverability doesn't work anymore, and then you don't have an email warmed up, right? Like, yeah. So
Okay.
I would
Got it.
I would set up like also as part of this goal, like set up, 3 to 5 new email domains. Let's start warming up.
Okay.
Especially if that's like a proven channel for you guys that's working, you're gonna need this at some point in time.
So that and implement some kind of warm-up software.
Yes. Yeah. And that's
Okay.
all in that best practices document.
Alrighty.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yep. Jason G.
All right. Able to hear me okay?
Yep.
Perfect. So working deeply with two ICPs at the moment, and I'll share a screen here in a second. I'm going through three core stages. So onboarding, full story feedback, then customize conversations. So let me switch into and give me a second here. Why is that screen not showing up? Ah, able to see this okay?
Let me see. Let me stop mine.
This is the only meeting I use Zoom for. It's Google Meet for everything else. I don't know all the buttons.
I don't see it. Anybody else see? I don't see your screen. Oh, here we go.
Here, I'll try again.
Chris, it looks like you have a rave going on behind you.
Yeah, it's Christmas lights. It's still going.
Are we back in business? See your screen now?
Yep.
All right. So when we say the story feedback, this is the one of traditionally fill out the elements, metadata that pulls in from the onboarding resume and so on for structure, making sure we get feedback in, This was the spike I had for that 3 days that I mentioned of getting an LLM to auto-discover DOM elements and React was a pain in the ass, but it does so someone can naturally, as they're trying to iterate on feedback, ask questions, apply it directly in. What I'm working on now this week is this flow. Let's get rid of here. Let's say VC pitch. Again, you can custom create any type of scenario you want. You would custom create personas to get feedback on. And this would then set up a session, either voice or video, where it takes all your onboarding data, takes your star story data, other metadata it has about you, and then the output of the conversation would be scored upon a rubric, but also personalized to where you are on your journey for where you're trying to go. So getting this working is getting my goal this week, and that loop is the most important for my two ICPs.
Okay, got it. And then after that is done, what is the plan?
So there's gonna be bug fixing, feedback. Of course, not going to get it right, but ultimately from the plan there is great with that loop in place of all these potential ideas we've discussed on the left.
Okay.
What would be required for you to start paying, or ideally, do you start paying now? Is there enough value to get going?
Yep.
I'm also in a phase with a potential co-founder. So one of my ICPs actually wants to be a co-founder now, potentially. But he may get some big job. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed he gets it. But if he doesn't, he would be joining. But if he does, if he gets it, there's a community that we have in mind to go to where we'd get potential early advisor support from a well-known exec coach.
Okay.
So I
Got
need
it.
to get this core loop working for my two ICPs, make sure real value. Ideally, it's start charging revenue out of the gate, but that would be a good checkpoint to see what would be next.
Okay, fair enough. Cool. Good deal. All right, Jag K. Yeah. Pablo.
Hey, Chris, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. So the past 2 weeks, the biggest thing that I experimented with, uh, basically, we're trying to improve the marketplace conversions. We made a couple big changes. We kind of did them all at once, so I don't know which one like led to the actual successful result.
Uh-huh.
We did the following. We added a 5% online booking discount as a line item that just applied to every single order. um, we collapsed all the fees, like platform fees, credit card processing fees, into one line item called taxes and fees, and
Okay.
collapsed it by default. So before it was like expanded so people could see a bunch of fees.
Yep. Yep.
And literally just making those changes increase our conversions by 25%.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
and then
Awesome.
now, yeah, it's crazy. Um, And now I'm trying to figure out what I can do next to keep it going because there's still a large amount of customers that are like signing up and still not booking, even though we did increase the bookings we're
Sure.
getting. Um, and so that's kind of where I'm at now is like figuring out where to go. A big product we're going to launch soon in the next 2 weeks is insurance, and everyone
Yep.
will be required to buy insurance. So I'm afraid that that might have a negative impact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, so I think obviously there's ways to look at I guess two parts, right? So number one is well, congrats on the increase of the conversions by 25%. I think, you're saying that there's still more room for improvement. Um, meaning that you still have a subsegment of those that are like not that are getting to checkout but not completing, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So like for example, let's say we get 15 customers sign up per day. We're getting 8 checkouts from those 15 and the
Okay.
others just like I don't even know what happens. They like make accounts and everything
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
just don't do it.
Yeah. So to that point, like, I mean, look, that's a pretty high conversion percentage. There could be a ton of reasons why they're not checking out. What I would probably do is put them into some kind of like drip campaign or like some kind of like, at least like a monthly newsletter of some sort. And what that typically I'm trying to ascertain from that is the reason why they're not checking out, right? So it's like, you know, it's a good place to at that point to like put in feature updates, new access to inventory, right? Like different
Yeah.
types of things that you want to give them information on, in addition to like, hey, if and this is obviously like you maybe even want to send like automate something that goes out to them where it's like, here's $5 if you can like just give us the reason why we saw you like check out, but like you didn't check out, let us know the reason why and we'll give you $5, right? And like that just collecting enough of data from that might be useful for you to kind of like figure out the next step. Because just if you just I think that's probably the best thing to do, but also like do the drip to try to focus on conversion, especially if you know from that data collection. I would do both, but doing that data collection will help you understand what you should incorporate into the newsletters as a means to get them like they might be like, well, I was looking for this thing, or like it's too expensive. Again, like at that point, it might help you to like know when to issue some kind of discounting kind of practice or whatever. But that's what I would do. Literally like send an automated email where it makes it so that they can respond back with why they didn't check out. Usually give them like pre-populated options so the data is going to be quantifiable. So it's or it might be phases. So in the very beginning, it might be like you just collecting free form responses. But then
Yeah.
like after a week of that, just bucket all those free form responses, feed it to, AI, have it create the pre-populated kind of like, check boxes or like multiple choice, and then have them just choose from one of those. And then that way you kind of know how to bucket the you're gonna see like one or two things that definitely rise to the top, and then you can address for it. So that's the thing that I would do in addition to just sending up a newsletter. And then lastly would just be um, the other part of things. The second part we were talking about was which was what the
We talked about, we said newsletter, we said me emailing them. So I was thinking like, there's the critical period where like if you're looking to rent, let's say you're renting an Airbnb, you're renting like this
oh
period
yeah
before your vacation, and
yeah
like
yeah
emailing them at the right time to maybe save the sale before I
yeah
push
yeah
them into a
yeah.
survey.
That's fine. Yeah. So that makes sense. So those are the two things that I would do first. Is just collecting the information, or trying to get the information as to why they didn't check out, and then adding them to a newsletter, using what they fill out as a means to figure out the content for the newsletter. Then I remember the second thing, which is like the insurance part, which you think is going to like, you know, impact conversion. Um, I mean, I would just go on like Turo or like one of those types of apps and just kind of see what they're doing for best practices.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think most people understand insurance as a part of that process if you're renting some kind of machinery or vehicle, right? So like just let's follow something that people have already figured out
Yeah.
as like yeah, and just try to mirror that, right, as much as possible.
I
Um,
have two options for the insurance. Outdoorsy, which is an RV marketplace, they just
yep,
force it on you and they don't even give you a choice and you don't even see it. You'd have to like click on this small text that says, see
yep,
my full breakdown, and then you can see it.
yeah,
On Turo, they give you plan options with different deductibles. I kind of want to keep it simple to start. So I'm assuming I lean towards just like try one thing, like, keep it just one plan, one tier forced on them.
yep. That makes sense. Then
Okay.
then just do that, right? Like do whatever is simple is what I
Yeah,
would usually all for.
I agree. Okay, cool. I'll give it a shot.
Cool. Good deal.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Uh, Nick K.
Yep. Hey, Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing well, doing well. So yeah, this last couple weeks, I was able to do four more of these ICP interviews.
Okay.
Um, for context, we're pivoting a bit. So testing out some new ideas. Use that to refine this like landing page that we've been iterating on. Finally feel like that's in a pretty good place. So kind of want to try now going back to these 10 interviews that we've done, and seeing if we can convert any to the waiting list. And then kind of continue this process of ICP interviews and trying to get people to join the wait list.
Got it. Okay. See interviews, follow ups, go and convert. Okay, so let's set like what number can you feel confident on getting new interviews with? How many new interviews?
Um, I have maybe like actually completed 5, I think is realistic.
Okay. Um, and what did you do to get to the last 4?
So the first 5 I got were my personal network. Those introduced me to these most recent ones.
Okay.
And so I've been kind of just going back to the people I've been interviewing and asking them to connect me with their network.
Got it. Okay. Again, like if you need to throw out some incentive, I would maybe do that. But like if you can be like try to get, 2 from each of these 4 that you just did,
Mm-hmm.
I would maybe set that as a goal, right?
Okay.
And um yeah, again, like it's always about like how you word it to people, but it's like, hey Nick, thanks for taking the time to talk with me. Really appreciate it. By the way, it would be really helpful if I need to do like at least like 20 more of these. I've gotten 10 done so far, but I
Mm-hmm.
need, if you can refer me a couple of people, happy to blah blah blah, right? Buy you a cup of coffee or send you like a gift card for it as a referral or whatever. But like you can even just point out to, you know, the fact of like, yeah, I don't have a ton, right? Like I'm a struggling founder, but I'm happy to kind of like respect for your time, right? And most people at
Right.
the end of the day will probably just do it as a favor. But if you just kind of like again position it in a way where it's like just show some humility and then like be honest with where you are, like
Mm-hmm.
people can respect that and they'll probably usually just do throw you a solid. So
Yeah. That's what I've
leverage
been leaning
leverage
on. Do you think though throwing in the offer kind of makes that even more enticing? Should I
I
offer?
think so because like when
Okay.
people do that, like I never take it, but I just be like, oh, okay, this person's been thoughtful. It's like,
Okay.
it's like
Okay.
it's like going and meeting your girlfriend's parents and like taking them out to dinner or lunch, right? It's like, I mean, it's the thought, it's the gesture of it all. It's not necessarily even about what it is that you do. It's just that it's just making the right gesture, doing the right thing, right? And I think
Okay.
that's it. Like most people won't even take you up on it, to be honest, at the end of the
Yeah.
day. But like it makes it so that it just feels like it's thought out.
Okay. That's totally fair. That's totally
Okay.
fair.
Yeah, so I mean, it seems like you're able to, I think 5 new, ideally 2 referrals each of the last. And even going back to like your own, the older ones, right, that you spoke with,
Mm-hmm.
just run through the same thing, right? It's like, hey, I've had like 20 great conversations. Thanks for you taking the time too, but I need to get more, right? And go
Yeah.
through that. Cool.
Okay. We'll do. Thanks, Chris.
Yep. All right. Last one is Takeshi.
Yep. Sorry, I'm here.
Yep. How's it going?
Okay, good.
Good, good.
Yep.
All right. Meeting with Shopline to beta test. All right. This is
Yeah,
the jewelry store. How's it going?
the meeting went well. The first meeting went well. I kicked off the website, Shopline
Okay.
website. I think they'll start today when I outsource it. Um, and then Shopline set up a bi-weekly meeting, I guess, for follow-up. So I guess it's, going well for that beta testing project.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh,
basically, we gotta make the Shopline website, and then I still need to finish my own app to integrate.
uh-huh.
So we're kind of a little bit delayed. We gotta do the back end over again, like I mentioned to you, but just hired another guy yesterday. And I'm gonna try to speed it up. Hopefully, like in a month and a half, I have something that I could demo using Shopline, where we can integrate the inventory information and use AI to like order stuff or change products around.
Okay, so pretty much you're just trying to focus on getting Shopline over the hump as a customer, and you're adjusting the product accordingly to accommodate them.
Not a customer, not a customer, as a partner.
As a partner, sorry.
Yeah. The customer is another jewelry store. It's called Sophia Fiore out of California.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do want two more beta suppliers or testers in the next like a month. I have one that I'm targeting, but they want to see the demo. So once I could demo, I think I could get more beta customers.
And this is different from Shopline. These are customers, not partners.
So Shopline is basically it's an e-commerce platform. It's like
Yeah.
Shopify. So
Yeah.
most of these stores, they have both e-commerce and brick and mortar.
Okay.
Yeah, so Shopline will be just for the e-commerce, and then brick and mortar portion is we still have to use our own app to
Service them. Okay.
manage. Yeah, service them. Yeah, correct.
Got it. Okay.
I have
Okay.
another potential partnership for the payment processing side called Aurora Payments. I don't know if they're good, but I'm just negotiating contracts with them.
Okay. And then for the two, so how many beta customers do you have right now?
I have potential two that's willing to until I get my app working. They won't be able to test it.
And you're trying to get two more.
I'm trying to get at least three total, so one more.
At least three total, so one more.
Yeah.
Do you have any in the pipeline?
I have some in the pipeline in Dallas. They want to see a demo,
Okay.
so they haven't committed until I could get the demo and show them the benefit of using our platform.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you need to get one more net new from that.
Yeah. I need to start looking for more. Correct.
Okay, so I guess between now and in 2 weeks, the goal would be trying to get one more net new beta customer,
Yeah.
right? To get to
Yep.
the total of three.
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Quick question for you,
That's
Takeshi.
me.
So I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah. Did you say OAuth when you say you're going to be redoing your backend for the next month?
No, yeah, we started our backend. We scrapped our old backend and we're redoing it again. Correct.
Highly recommend Supabase if you're looking at that. I was able to do authentication across Discord, LinkedIn, Google, and OTP in an hour. It makes it drop dead simple. And they have startup credits.
Yeah, we're using Postgres right now, and we want to do
even better. The Supabase is a wrapper around Postgres.
Yeah. We have our own. Eventually, we want to do the Palantir ontology type of thing, architecture. I don't know if Supabase has that capability, but that's what we're targeting to do. Yeah.
And Supabase plus Excel has made a lot of backend work so much easier. So if you're looking at like here in a month, that feels way too long for what's possible with those two.
Supabase and what else?
Vercel. So if you're doing TypeScript or React, so Vercel your front end, Supabase your back end.
Yeah.
That combo there has simplified a lot, at least for me.
Yeah, we're using Vercel, but we're not using the Supabase. I'll take a look at Supabase.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
And since you said the AI stuff, they have PG Vector as a plugin so you don't have to even build your own RAG systems as much. So like it's able to save me a lot of work to get to that. Like I'm not a front end dev or back end dev from what you saw. It created that for me. I'm an ML guy. So I'm lazy. So I like the tools to do the work for me.
What about the cost? Is it pricing good?
$30 a month.
$30 a month. Okay.
Like $20 a month. Yeah, there's startup credits too. Just tell them you're a startup and they'll give you some freebies.
Okay. All right, cool. Thanks.
Cool. Good deal. Did I miss anybody? Cool. Good deal, guys. I will share with you guys next week in the WhatsApp group. I'll take a poll for what topics to cover, but I have a few in mind around messaging and around channels. But yeah, I'll share those, and then whatever we get the most votes on, we'll cover that for next week, and then we'll do another milestone check-in in 2 weeks.
Thanks for your time, Chris.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Chris.
All right.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much
guys.
for your time.
Of course. All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
Bye.